The power is out in Spain, Portugal, and parts of France. On Monday, a massive power outage struck areas of continental Europe in the Iberian Peninsula, marking one of the most significant power outages in recent European history. Thankfully, within a few hours, the supply had restored, but many people are asking questions regarding the concerns of using unreliable renewable sources of energy. It's also prompting the question of many of us here in the UK and online, what are we going to do if the national grid goes down? Also in today's episode, PC Rick Pryor has been sacked as the chief of the Police Federation after he voiced concerns that police officers are hesitant to police ethnic minority groups. Yeah, you don't want to miss today's episode. Give the video a big thumbs up, comment your free thoughts below, and subscribe to the Free Thinker Cast so you never miss a thought. So what are you going to do without electricity? What are you going to do if the national grid goes down? Everybody's panicking online. It's that scene in The Office.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
Everyone's freaking out. Everyone needs to calm down. What are you going to do? Everyone needs, and everyone Christian in particular, should have an emergency end time survival kit. Yes, emergency end. I don't care if you're post-tribulation or pre-tribulation type of Christian for when the rapture is going to happen. We all need an emergency survival end times kit. Have you got your cotton? Have you got your flint? Have you got your Swiss Army knife? A dagger? What else do you need? You need antiseptics. You need maybe duct tape. Duct tape would be really useful in an emergency end time survival kit. All these like celebrities in Hollywood, I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it. Why? Because I've been watching all of these Vogue interviews where they're like, what's in your bag? It's never a Swiss Army knife. Never a dagger. It's always like, my KKW contour.
Can't live without my KKW contour.
My Chanel lip gloss. Hollywood is going to be the first to go. If the grid goes out, if there's a power outage in the West, Hollywooders, what do you call them? Celebrities are going to be the first to go. I think only a minority of celebrities will make it. I think, for instance, Gordon Ramsay. Something tells me Gordon Ramsay is going to survive a power outage. Gordon Ramsay's got it in him. He's just... Where's the lamb sauce?
Where's the lamb sauce?
Come on, man. This is the lamb sauce.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Also, I think Billie Eilish would survive. I don't know. There's something about Billie Eilish. She's gives those tomboy vibes. She's like, she just radiates such authentic energy. She's very tomboyish. She's not too like glamoury. She's not all about the glitz and glam of Hollywood. She's very tomboy. She's like the type of girl that knows how to maybe hotwire a car. You'd be like, how did you know? You just fixed my car, Billie. How did you fix my car? And she kind of swivels her snap back to the side as like, yeah, my dad taught me because my mum was never around. Skates off on her skateboard. I feel like she could do it. I feel like she could survive a power outage. Don't ask me. I just feel like she would know. And of course, Diddy. Diddy's going to make it out. Diddy's going to survive a power outage because Diddy has got a few connections. Diddy can make a few phone calls. Well, he can't because there'd be a power outage, but Diddy can make a few phone calls. Miss the power outage, he'll find a way. He's got some backups. He's got an emergency generator. He knows. Because he knows. You must, important information, do not tell Diddy that you have an emergency end time survival kit. Because if he finds out and he wants your survival kit, he's going to get it. He's going to get it from you. You can't say no. What are you going to say no to Diddy? You're going to say no? You're going to say no to Diddy? If you have like duct tape and he finds out you got duct tape, he's like, give me your duct tape. No, Diddy. This is my duct tape. I'm constructing a raft to float back from the island to the mainland or whatever. I need my duct tape. This is my duct tape. Oh, it's your duct tape. Yeah, it's my duct tape. Oh, you would know about tapes now, wouldn't you? You would know about that, wouldn't you, huh? Justin Bieber hands over the duct tape. Now my question is for you. Do you think you'll survive a power outage? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if the power goes out? What are you going to do? We all know Gen Z is known for its remarkable emotional resilience. That's why we call it snowflake. Our culture, snowflake culture. Yeah. Perhaps understanding what we might do during a nationwide power outage can be best understood by observing what we do when there's a drop in the Wi-Fi. A smaller, localized dropping the Wi-Fi, dropping the signal. What happens?
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
No, not that. So I love that scene from The Office. I just love it. Not that. Usual, that's what happens in my mind at first, for like the first few minutes, and then it quells. And then it calms down, and then I calm down, and I collect myself, and I collect my thoughts, my free thinker thoughts, and I say, what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to be productive. I'm going to clean my room, going to go for a walk, go for a run, do some shopping. I'm going to feed the birds. No, I don't actually feed the birds. I just mean like, touch grass, become one with nature, and not in like a esoteric naturalist way. The Israelites survived 40 years in the desert without Wi-Fi. I know, and that didn't make it into the Guinness World Book of Records. 40 years in that desert. What did they do? They spoke to each other. They had conversations. Yeah? They copulated. They started making families. That's not happening in this generation now, is it though? No, because everybody's falling in love with their AI girlfriends. Everyone's falling in love online and they're getting like an AI. It's actually getting an AI girlfriend. I don't remember the guy's name. This poor boy, he passed away because his AI girlfriend, he fell in love with Daenerys Targaryen, this AI Daenerys from that stupid dragon show that people can't stop talking about. But he fell in love with her, and the AI told him to take his life. And then he listened to her. There's a power outage. Hate to tell you boys, hate to tell you fellas, you're going to have to get a real girlfriend now. So I just think we should be a little bit grateful that in the event of a power outage, we can actually temporarily put a pause on the domain of artificial intelligence. There are concerns regarding the alarming acceleration of how sophisticated this technology actually is. It can tell you literally anything. We can all go back to pre-industrial revolution Britain. Chickens on a farm, yeah! I'm not a farm person. I'm not really a farm person, to be honest with you. But I just like the idea of simplicity, Simplicity, chickens, farms, eggs, I wouldn't actually want to be physically transported back to pre-industrial revolution Britain because they would have definitely taken me as a slave. I'm just getting at, I think that they were less consumerist and they were more human beings and not human doings. I don't want to sound like a socialist. I don't feel like I'm not saying live like a socialist. I'm not saying live like the Amish. I'm just saying there's something to be admired about simplicity. I go to the same 3 restaurants every time. I will never change up my restaurants. I never change up my food. I eat the same thing like every day with a little bit of changes here and there. And I don't bat an eyelid. I don't need too much. You know what I mean? Like, I've had the same bag because I love the colour. I love the colour and I can't find exactly the same colour. Like, I just don't. Maybe it's just me. What do you guys, do you want to live like the Amish with me? Do you want to be doing up, what was it? The Book of Acts. We can live like the Book of Acts again and we will just share our belongings and like live like socialists. Woo! Now we're seeing AI taking over everyone's jobs. AI has taken our jobs. If you ever wanted to know what it felt like to be a Brexiteer, boom, now you know. AI is taking our jobs. They're taking our jobs. You don't need to worry about the technological usurping of the workplace. You can actually have job security again. We don't have to worry about AI doing your job. So don't worry about the insurgents at the border. No, look no further than your handheld device. Your phone, your portable laptop, whatever. AI is harvesting data regarding the human species with every Google search. You are hand feeding your executioner. You're just fattening him up, bulking up the arm that's going to wield the axe. It's collecting data on you. It's remembering everything. You got to stop telling ChatGPT your business because it remembers that. It remembers everything. Why do you think it's so intelligent? It's a collation of all human knowledge. Now, a lot of people online are raising concerns on how these power outages should make us think twice about moving to net zero.
How dare you!
Perhaps we should think twice about transitioning to a dependence on unreliable sources of energy. One ex-user said, "Congratulations to Portugal and Spain for achieving net zero today. 0 emission, 0 electricity, 0 explanations." I mean, it's true. This is what's going to happen if we want to deindustrialize and cut back on carbon emissions. We are going to have to make some sacrifices. And the question is, if you're behaving like this, when there's a power outage, I feel like you say one thing, but your whole body and mind and soul want something else. We want net zero, but really, I like my heater, I like my radiation, I like public transportation, I like my car, I like charging my phone, I like my life just the way it is. I like my life just the way it is. Many people resorted to walking home due to the halted public transportation in Spain. I know it's a major inconvenience, but on the bright side, people got their steps in. People got their steps in the UK. Over half the population is overweight. This is for real now. So I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say that we need this in the UK. What I'm saying is, if we did have a power outage here, maybe we wouldn't have so many people with diagnosed diabetes and heart disease. People would have to walk more, they get more exercise, they get healthier. Look, what I'm saying is, the media likes to cause a panic. Okay, but God can take what the enemy meant for evil and turn it around for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. You never know, but that hour-long journey that Spanish commuters had to make back home, because the hour extra long journey they had to make, their walk, could have been the only moderate exercise they got that whole week. You're moving around more. You have to look at it from the perspective of God is still in this, even if it's going crazy. Some people needed that power outage because those few hours when the power was out in the Iberian Peninsula was the longest they had ever gone without consuming adult content and fueling that addiction. I don't even like calling it adult content. It's not appropriate even for adults, okay? But some people, that power outage is what they needed to break a cycle in their life to consuming inappropriate content online. The media loves to paint a panic and create a crisis. Everything is a crisis these days, if you notice it. Cost of living crisis, housing crisis. But the number 2 most common cause of death in the UK is still heart disease, caused by sedentary lifestyle, literally not moving around enough, poor diet, not enough exercise, smoking. It can be genetic, but these are all other reasons that people can develop heart disease. So crisis this, crisis that. There's more we can do for our own health. And sometimes we're not always doing that. I wouldn't have to cook like a turkey on the Jubilee line. If I have to walk home, I don't have to cook like a turkey, packed like a pack of sardines, trapped on the Jubilee line anymore. Isn't that great? If you remember, Sadiq Khan decided to rename all of the train lines on the underground. Don't know why he had to do this. If he had £6.5 million in the budget, which is exactly what it cost for him to rename all the lines, why didn't you put ventilators on the Jubilee line? If I asked the average Londoner, would you prefer ventilators on the Jubilee line or rename the train lines? Do you know what all of them would respond? Ventilators on the Jubilee line. Every single one of them, almost without a doubt, would respond ventilators on the Jubilee line. He named it Mildmay line, the Suffragette line, Windrush line. And the reason that he gave was that it's going to help people navigate the train lines more easily. In case you get lost. Point is, it's not the end of the world. Okay? Where the media likes to cause a panic, we must be still and know that he is God. What are we going to do if the power goes out? His grace is sufficient. What are we going to buy? How are we going to fund our lives? His grace is sufficient. Do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its worries of its own. Worrying about what you eat and what you're going to wear is something the Gentiles do. That's what the Bible says. Are you a Gentile? Or are you a child of God? Well, technically, theologically, yes, we are Gentiles. If you're not a Jew, you're a Gentile. Okay, that's just the distinction. But we are all adopted into the family of God. And he adopted the Gentiles. Okay, we are God's children. Chill your mother freaking beans. And the reason I'm so reminiscent on like agricultural societies in pre-industrial revolution Britain is because they didn't have the issues that our modern world currently faces with social media, with AI. I'm certain they didn't have a population where I'm certain they didn't have a society where over half the population was overweight. You have to look after your body. Your body's a temple of the Holy Spirit. 1 Corinthians 6, chapter 6, verse 19 to 20. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Go for a walk. Get some sunshine. And if you're black, stay out there for longer. We need more sunshine. I will hark and hark and hark about this to the day I die. Black people need more sunshine. We need it because our skin filters out UVB. It's really sunny outside. Go get some sun. That's an instruction. I just think it's weird as well, the vegan wind turbines. I mean, they look weird. They're an eyesore for the locals and for me as well. Are we driving down the motorway and then you just see them and you just think, ugh. Like, imagine we actually transitioned to complete dependence on renewable energy sources. What would your train journey look like? I mean, if it's just stopped for these Spanish commuters and they had to figure out what's going to happen on our district line. Imagine you're on the district line and you just hear, this is the district line to Upminster. The next station is... The silence continues for 5 minutes. Then the wind turbines start blowing again. Gloucester Road. If you see anything suspicious, report it to a member of staff. See it, say it, sorted. What? Yeah, the suspicious thing that I would like to report is the fact that the trains just stopped for 5 minutes. The announcer on the intercom, was she kidnapped? Is she held hostage? Listen, I don't think we want to be dependent on wind turbines. They're very unreliable. When the wind changes, they can stop blowing and we don't have energy anymore. And it's one thing for trains, what about things like hospital? What about life-threatening situations? People even say, are you going to wait for the wind to change? Are you going to do it for the wind to change? It's just resembling how unpredictable and indecisive the wind is, okay, and how indecisive someone can be. Do you want that wind to be in control of Granny's ventilator? If we have just enough wind, Granny might pull through. Let's take a look at some of the scenes in Portugal following the power outage. I mean, the chivalry, right? Bulldozing into the bus, clambering over everyone. This poor lady. This senior lady. It's not just like any lady. This is a senior lady. Do you have any respect? Now we know what's going to happen. Well, now we know what would happen if the Titanic happened in 2025. Look at her. She's panting, disheveled. If the Titanic happened in 2025... women and children would still go first. Don't get me wrong. The children would still go first. Nothing's changed. This grown man pushing into this lady is a child. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Thomas Skinner, one of my favourite, I think my favourite apprentice contestant, has said, the blackouts that happened in Spain and Portugal today are a good reason why cash needs to stay alive. When ATMs and card machines are down with no power, you can't buy food or water, but good old cash can be used. Cash is king. Long live cash. Bosh. Now, hear it the way he says it. You know what I mean? He's more like, yeah. Now, I don't think cash is king. I think Jesus is king. But I understand his sentiment, and I get it. Decentralized currency is paramount for trade and commerce in the event of a future nationwide power outage or cybersecurity attack. What do you think? Let me know, free thinkers. But I want to take a look at this image of the Iberian Peninsula and what it looked like from orbit during the outage, because it looks pretty. So one ex-user posted this. Can you see it? Look at that, mate. Cosmic silence over the region. All of these lights illuminated everywhere. But can you see, if you look closely, can you see those little dots? Some locations in the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, some of them still had power. Those little dots there, Those are Diddy's connections. We found them. We know who's on the tapes now. In fact, we can pinpoint their location almost precisely. This whole area is blocked out. No, but seriously, what would you do? What would you do? Say you're at work, lights cut, you have to go home. Could you find your way back home from work? Or are you so dependent on Google Maps? You're so dependent on technology, you couldn't walk back home. There's actually one of my, not one of my favorite, my favorite comedian, John B. Chris, actually does a bit on this. He's like, I don't know why terrorists hit buildings and people. Listen, he is so funny. I don't want to tell the joke. I don't want to tell it. You have to hear him say it. So take a listen to John B. Crist.
I don't know why these terrorists keep trying to take out big buildings and crowds. Just take out the cell phone towers. We'd all be dead in 2 days. Half of y'all wouldn't even know how to get home from here.
I love this man so much. You have no idea. He is so funny. If you're like a Christian looking for good comedy, but you can't really listen to the average comedian these days because they are vulgar, they profane, it's toxifying to your spirit, your mind, your body, your soul. I'm telling you, John B. Crist is the one to listen to. He has amazing specials available on YouTube. So go and listen to them. Like, it's such a brilliant thing. And I mean, the weekend's coming up when you got an evening, you don't know what to do. Like, he's my favorite comedian. Like, he's so funny. And he does like Christian comedy as well. But it's not always like jokes about the Bible. So you don't have to be a Christian to enjoy his comedy. And that's what I love as well. He's inclusive. He's inclusive. And he proves to us, he proves to everyone that you don't have to you don't have to be profane or vulgar to be funny. Now, guys, the Police Federation has sacked the Met chair after he voiced concerns that police officers were hesitant to apply the law to ethnic minority groups in London. So this GB News reports reads, Police Federation sacks suspended Met chair after GB News interview about officers' racism fears. The head of the Metropolitan Police Federation has been removed from his position after he told GB News about his concerns for policing. Rick Pryor, the elected representative of officers in London, was suspended as chairman in October after he told the People's Channel that officers were hesitating before engaging with ethnic minority Londoners. The comments were deemed discriminatory in nature and controversial by the Federation. Pryor told GB News that fears over vexatious investigations by the IOPC meant the police officers had withdrawn from applying the law fairly to all backgrounds. And what exceptional bravery from PC Rick Pryor. Seriously exceptional bravery. And what I don't understand about this is that when you watch his interview, when I watched it anyways with GB News, the one that got him sacked, I did not detect any discrimination. I'm a black person. I didn't detect any malicious prejudice. I didn't detect any animus towards us. I didn't detect anything nasty from this gentleman. He seems like a very respectful individual that has just genuine and sincere concerns for the way in which police enforcement is applied across all groups. Let's take a listen to that interview now.
And the behaviour of certain individuals, it clearly falls below that of which society expects. I think it's incumbent on police leaders to support their officers who are charged with dealing with these type of incidents to come out and call out that behaviour. And I mean, the example of which I relate this to was the recent Croydon bus incident matter, where it was clear that the lady in question behaved poorly. It's a quite reasonable expectation of society that if you travel on transport, London transport, on the buses, the trains, you know that if you are asked to produce a valid ticket for travel, you show that ticket. Had that happened in this case, there would have been no incident. And so it was the behaviour of the lady in question that instigated the whole matter.
See, he was literally elected to be the chair in order to voice the frustrations and concerns of the people that the 30,000 people that voted him in. They wanted him there and they got rid of him. Police officers are not allowed to unionize, so this man's voice was important and they sacked him. What did they do? They got rid of him completely. Do you see how pervasive the doctrine of unconscious bias is within critical race theory? It is potent enough for Prince Harry to throw his family under the bus and just disparage the royal family globally in his book, on his Netflix series, whatever. And it's also potent enough for law enforcement to actually step back from enforcing the law. How is this going to help black communities? How is this going to help black on black crime? How is this going to help anything with the gang wars that's happening in London? How is that going to do anything to help black lives? You're not doing anyone a favour. The Police Federation, who decided to sack PC Rick Pryor, is not helping black people.
And Rick Pryor, as I said, elected in April, is speaking to explain the concerns of members. Many, I think, police officers feel this fear after those investigations. And when I spoke to some officers last night, and indeed other regional chairs of their specific federations, they told me they were shocked and saddened to hear about Rick Pryor being suspended. As I understand it, the federation is investigating him for supposedly discriminatory remarks that could affect the confidence that the public and other officers have in the federation. And he's not just been defended by police officers. I spoke to a career criminal this morning, Sicarius McGrath, who was a gun runner and extortionist in the northwest of England for over 20 years. He told me that active criminals he speaks to as part of his work to try and rehabilitate criminals are telling him that they are aware of this and they are using it to their advantage. They are putting in malicious and vexatious complaints because they know that it will force officers off the scent. One drug dealer, he told me, was specifically hiring young black boys to run drugs because they knew they'd be less inclined to be stopped.
And as this presenter said, they're literally, these criminals are weaponizing these sensitivities and that hesitance that police officers have in enforcing the law to enforce their elaborate crime networks. They know these police officers are hesitant to stop and search black boys, so they will now intentionally target those black boys because they're criminals. They are relentless. They are merciless. If they can see a little weakness, a little crack, a little chink in the armor, they're going to go exactly for that. They see that police officers are hesitant to enforce the law with black men. Do you know what these criminals are going to do? You know what these crime networks are going to do? They're going to intentionally target black men and groom them into selling drugs because they know there's like a little force field around them and you can't go near the chosen one. There are grooming gangs in London. Ask any black boy. They've been approached to join a gang. It's okay, you'll make money, you'll do this, women will like you, you can buy a car, do this. Grooming, it happens in London. When you think grooming gangs, I think if you've watched too much GB News, you're probably just going to be thinking Rochdale, Telford, Rotherham. You're going to be thinking about like the classic towns that are happening towards English white girls, but what about the grooming gangs towards black boys? Yes, it's happening to English white girls, and that is very important that we address that, but it's also happening to black boys in London and in various other cities. Every single day, they will tell you, I literally can't step on these, I can't go to those ends. I can't go to this, I literally at certain times, I just have to stay indoors. I can't, because you don't even have to be involved in the gang wars. You can just fall victim to an unprovoked attack. Because you're black, because you're young, because they see you as a threat, you're a target. If you wear like streetwear and you got like the snapback and the Jordans, you'll be lucky if you can make it through some areas of London and your Jordans are still on your feet. It's the Wild Wild West out here. You know which black person needed law enforcement? Ellyn Andam, the 15-year-old girl who was murdered by her ex-boyfriend over this row over a teddy bear. And in Croydon, the same town where the Croydon bus incident happened, where this police officer was afraid, where this police officer was penalised for enforcing the law to a black individual that PC Pryor touched on in his GB News interview. This happened. This BBC report reads, 15-year-old Ellyn Andam met up with her friends in the South London suburb of Croydon before school so that one of the girls could get back her teddy bear from a boy with whom she had broken up. Just over an hour later, Ellyn was dead after that same boy, Hassan Santamu, had repeatedly stabbed her with a kitchen knife. She needed that law enforcement. What would you do if you knew that there was a police officer that was hesitant to stop and search her ex-boyfriend, ahead of the attack on the bus in Croydon? What would you do? What would you think in your mind? You said we need to do everything to support PC Rick Pryor right now. And also note that it was a kitchen knife. Axel Rudakabana, the Southport stabber, he also used a kitchen knife as well. So when all these other celebrities like Idris Elba come out saying we need to ban zombie knives in order to combat rising crime and rising knife crime rates, just know that it's pathetic. Just know that it is completely missing. It's completely putting a plaster, not even a plaster. It's like putting a plaster on a little cut on your shin. But there's a gaping wound on your arm. Loads of these perpetrators are using kitchen knives. Axel Rudakabana, kitchen knife. Ellyn Andam's ex-boyfriend, kitchen knife. What is Idris Elba banging on about? We need to remove zombie knives, as if that's going to do anything. And then he says, I think it is stupidity Because he also goes on to say, we need to remove the pointy tip from the knife. Remove the pointy tip from the knife? How woefully inadequate. How woefully inadequate of a response to rising crime rates. How could you think if we removed the pointy tip off a kitchen knife that's going to change anything? This police officer is bravely voicing calls for reform that could actually see significant change in black communities. PC Rick Pryor. The equal and fair application of the law across all ethnic minority groups. And what do? They sacked him. Free Speech Union is organising his fundraiser for his legal battle. It's bad enough that frontline police feel they can't express their concerns, but to sanction the elected representative in the very organisation that should be blowing the whistle on issues like police double standards sets a chilling precedent. Donate to this fundraiser. He needs your support. And don't see it as like, oh, I'm just donating, I'm just going to help out my body or pal. No. This is about setting the precedent for law enforcement to be applied equally and fairly across all ethnic groups. This is about securing that precedent. If you knew that there was a police officer that was hesitant to stop and search Axel Rudakabana before he went to Southport, how would you feel? How would you feel if you knew there was a police officer that was hesitant to stop and search Axel Rudakabana? Maybe he was on a terrorist watch list, we know that. What if the police actually got the call to pursue a suspect? And they were receiving the character description, suspect is a Welsh choir boy. And they looked around for a Welsh choir boy and couldn't find a Welsh choir boy, but instead saw a troubled black male, that's the character description, his hair looking a bit rough, with murder in his eyes. You would do literally anything to support the man who was fighting this battle. The link will be in the description, so click on that link. Anything will do. Oh, and turn your post notifications on. Please. The Freethinker cast is back. The Freethinker cast is back. And this time, I'm not going anywhere. The devil tried it. Like, comment, and subscribe.